jobs. That's what they're there for, right? They have support staff there to support you. So, trust them and allow them to do it.
Anyone else want to add? So there were a couple other questions on the buying center that came in as well. Bryan, Rener, you had brought up a little bit before, you're not doing business with someone you don't have a relationship with, right? So is that the number one reason you do business with the company? Obviously, a relationship, there's a lot that goes into that. So obviously, they had to solve a problem, provide a product that actually worked, and then you got along with them. So there's a lot involved, but what's the next, how do you get to that relationship? And how do they, as Saahil said, trust but verify? How do you get them to verify everything that they're telling you they're going to be able to do?
I think, with it's a brand new vendor that we don't have a relationship with, but to get to that relationship, again, if I feel that there's an urgency to make a sale that day or that month or even that quarter, then they're not looking at a long-term relationship. And I sometimes get those calls, we have to make this sale, we want this project, high up in our corporation, we know about that hospital, we want to get in there. That's the wrong approach to take, because in my company, we're going to do 5 hospitals in the next couple of years. So this is just one of many major projects we're doing. So that person willing to sacrifice and say, look, we would love to be on this project, but that's not what's important to us. Important to us is gaining your trust and being in it for the long term. That's where that relationship starts. And then it starts with the technical support. Hey, I see you're doing a project that's got generators. I know we're not on your list yet, but do you mind if I take a look at it and give you some feedback that might help you improve it? Even though we're not going to be on it, that is showing to me that person isn't making a long-term investment, because my company does a lot of work across the country. And we talk among, the senior engineers talk among the other offices. So we say, hey, we had a really good job with this person out here. And we sometimes ask, I haven't worked with vendor X, have you? Yeah, we had a project out with them and it was good or bad. So we do check and verify those reputations.
So I know a lot of these topics can essentially cross over. There's some Venn diagrams. So Vincent, when you're looking for information coming from a manufacturer and they ask you to fill out a form, and I don't know, you missed it earlier, we talked a little bit about it. What type of information will get you to fill it out? Meaning, how technical does it have to be? And then how much information do you give? And then, of course, the assumption is that you will be contacted by that supplier. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I don't mind the contact, actually. Frankly, that's nice to hear from people. I think being one of the younger engineers on the panel today, maybe some of those forms are a bit inundated with information that you have a specific need for the product, whether it's like a valve, like in the industry that I'm in, it's a lot of valves or controllers and things of that nature. Coming in and again, if I have a relationship with that supplier, I'm going to bring them in and they're going to look at the application with me. And I think that aspect of building relationships is probably the most important, because a lot of young people, at least within the company that I'm in, are undertaking pretty big capital projects, but may lack some of the technical expertise that some of the vendors do have. Not that they ultimately have the end-all be-all decision on purchasing that'll run up through the plant engineering staff, but it could definitely sway our decision.
Sure. So Kimberly, with you, I know that the lunch and learns are great to have the engineers in and educating you. How much education content do you get not live, meaning whether it's via webcast or an ebook or downloading white papers, et cetera?
The webcasts that are available from a few of the vendors that we've used have been very helpful. We actually, if we can't make that live webcast, they always have an option to go back and watch it at a different time. So if we are not able to watch it, as a company, we'll pick a different time and we'll watch it. So I think the webcasts are very important. And as far as, what was the other one, the white papers, we only really go to the white, as far as at least our industry, the white papers, if there is something specific about that product that we need to either have someone change or ask. If we have a question we've gone through, we've said, all right, why is this, termination burning up every time X amount of volts go through, this transformer, or this is leaking. Why is that? We have to go through some of their spec